Now, this railway exhibit in La Crosse includes a Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Hudson number 4000, previously known as the Aeolus, a caboose, a signal tower, and a bunch of old railway artifacts. If you want to see this railway exhibit, it's located about 5 miles away from Highway 53, and it's located in Copeland Park. These scenes were filmed in August of 2023, and it seems like they were in the middle of a cosmetic restoration on the locomotive. The caboose didn't need much work, so it's staying in the condition it's currently in. Besides the restoration of the locomotive, they are also preserving some of the old railway artifacts, including some switch stands and various parts that have been taken off of the locomotive. Now, a little bit of work has been done to the locomotive in terms of recent. For one, the bell bracket is now painted, the bell's all polished up, they're the whistles on the engine, and if you look at the cab, it just recently got some primer paint, and pretty soon they'll be actually painting the cab again. Alright, so I found the gate, but it's locked, so we can't actually go inside and view the equipment in there, but we can view everything from a safe distance outside. But displayed with the locomotive here, right next to it, is the Grand Crossing signal box, and there's some switch levers here, and there's at least over 20 of them displayed over there. And there's some older tools there, pipes. All this has to do with railroading. Let's say if I were allowed to go in there, we could see everything, but since we can't really view what's in here. But there's some other parts. That is, I believe, either the steam dome or the sand dome off of the 4000. If you remember what dome I'm talking about that one there. Then we have some more pieces either off of the 4000 itself or just railroad memorabilia. Then now we're back around. There's also a signal on top of there. I would do a little bit of research on the locomotive and found a lot of interesting history behind it, so let's talk about the history of the 4000. This locomotive was originally built by Baldwin in 1930 as S4 Class Hudson number 3002. Then it was rebuilt by the Burlington shops in Burlington, Iowa in April of 1937. The engine would be renumbered to 4000 and given the classification of S4A. The upgrades this engine would include would be box-pock drivers, lightweight roller bearing rods, and other roller bearings on the trailing truck and the tender truck journals. The engine would also be streamlined and was named the Aeolus and served as a standby power for the Burlington Zephyr, which was one of the first streamlined trains at the time. Besides being known as the Aeolus, the engine was also nicknamed Big Alice the Goon after a Popeye character. Now, I don't know who gave that nickname to the 4000, but that was one of the names that the 4000 also carried in its life. However, these engines didn't have the streamlining for too long, and was removed in 1940 and 1941 to contribute to the World War II war effort. The 4000 would be reassigned again to pull heavier trains that would carry military soldiers and military equipment during World War II. Once it ended, the CB&Q began investing diesel locomotives to their fleet and slowly began to dieselize the passenger trains. This meant that 4000 and her sisters had to be reassigned to secondary passenger trains and freight trains. The engine would be retired in 1956, but it would go out with a bang since the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy sponsored a couple fan trips out of Chicago on July 1st of 1956 and on September 1st of the same year. Instead, 4000 would be sitting idle for 6 years in Galesburg, Illinois until 1963, when the city of La Crosse took the engine in and placed it on static display in Copeland Park. Despite sitting outside for over 50 years, the engine is in decent mechanical shape, which gives this engine a chance to be restored to operational condition if someone has the money, the time, and the effort. But until then, the engine will be sitting on static display in Copeland Park in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Other than the 4000, the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy preserved 4 other Hudsons. Engines 3001, 3003, 3006, and 3007 are all on static display in parks and museums. If you want to see these other Hudsons, 3003 is located on South Main Street in Burlington, Iowa. 3006 is located in Galesburg, Illinois at the Galesburg Railway Museum. Number 3007 is located at the Illinois Railway Museum. And then, of course, we have number 3001, which is located in Balingale Park, I think that's how you pronounce it, in Ottumwa, Iowa. Well, that's it for now. This is Brennan Strain signing off, and I will see you in the next video, which will be posted in 2 weeks' time.